So, my name is Sarah Cloutier, and in my speech today, I will be talking about the NHL and its involvement in the You Can Play project. And even if you're not a fan of sports, maybe you don't even know the first thing about sports, you might be aware of this locker room culture that exists within the sports world that has a very, very long history of discriminatory behavior, homophobia, and it's still a problem even today in 2017. Thankfully, though, there have been small steps made by various sports leagues throughout the world. There's even been a few athletes in the past few years who have come out as LGBT. And there has been a number of LGBT advocacy groups that have started working with different sports leagues to try and flip this culture on its head. One of these groups actually calls the sports world one of the last bastions of society where discrimination and slurs are tolerated. And this group is the You Can Play Project, which was founded in 2012. And one of the co-founders of the project is actually a scout for the Philadelphia Flyers. His name is Patrick Burke. So he's from around here. And what the You Can Play project aims to do is allow athletes to be, according to their website, honest, dedicated to achieving goals, hardworking, and full of competitive spirit. They are dedicated to ensuring quality, respect, and safety for all athletes. They understand that it's very hard to concentrate and play a game where you have to hide a very vital part of yourself and can't feel safe if you do come out. So they really just want to give athletes a safe space and a fair chance to play, where they will only be judged on their skills and their work ethic instead of anything else, even race or gender, as well as sexual orientation. And the NHL partnered with You Can Play in April of 2013, and in recent years since doing that, they have done a lot of things to raise awareness of LGBT issues, to try and make the NHL a more welcoming community, not just for players but also for fans. One thing the NHL tries to do is use its international influence to create a more inclusive community and embrace diversity for sexual orientation, race, gender, ethnicity. They just want to let everyone know that you are welcome in their community. So the NHL and You Can Play, they do a lot together. One thing they do is You Can Play hosts seminars now with incoming NHL players to educate them on LGBT awareness. The NHL has also incorporated the project into their behavioral health program, and what this does is it gives NHL players a chance to have confidential counseling or to ask any questions they might have about sexual orientation. One cool fact is that there is at least one player from all 30 NHL teams who has publicly supported the You Can Play project. And one really notable example of that is Tommy Wingels. He's on the Ottawa Senators. He was very recently traded from the San Jose Sharks. And he's actually on the board of advisors for You Can Play, and he was one of the very first people who gave money to the project so it could be founded and do what it's doing today. Another big thing that the NHL has done is it has started Hockey is for Everyone Month, which is actually going on right now. It's February. And what they do is they elected a You Can Play ambassador on every single team. And this is someone who was elected to be a leader in the locker room, to provide a ear to listen to any players who need it, also to become a face for their team, a leader in the community, to raise more awareness, to make more of an effort to fight homophobia. The You Can Play ambassador for the Flyers is Claude Giroux, who is the captain for the team. And what these You Can Play nights are is that each team for a home game hosts like events, gives away tickets to different minority communities, and they during their warm-ups they use Pride tape, which is hockey stick tape that the You Can Play made, and it's colored like the Pride flag. And they've signed those, they've auctioned them away to get money to charities and everything. And one big thing that happened this month with You Can Play nights is that Pittsburgh Penguins player Geno Malkin, he donated his suite this month to a Gay Straight Alliance from one of the high schools around there, which was a pretty big deal because he's from Russia, and Russia has a lot of anti-LGBT laws. It's a very homophobic country. It's a very dangerous place to be LGBT or support LGBT people. So even though the NHL is doing a lot, there is still a lot of issues with its activism as a whole and within individual teams. One thing the NHL kind of did wrong this month was it elected Andrew Shaw as its You Can Play ambassador for the Montreal Canadiens, which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because just last year he was caught in a game using a homophobic slur against one of the referees. So, this obviously didn't cross people the right way that they would elect him as a face for the team to support LGBT people, even though when it happened he did make a public apology and he was fined and given a 1-game suspension, so at least he was reprimanded, which compared to 2011 when Flyers player Wayne Simmons used a homophobic slur against another player, he didn't get punished whatsoever. So in that way you can see that You Can Play and the NHL have done a lot. Another issue, individual teams. Flyers, they've basically ignored Hockey is for Everyone month. They haven't made a lot of announcements about it. They haven't made extra efforts to do projects within the community, and they kind of fell short with their You Can Play month, You Can Play nights. So obviously you can see there's a lot of issues, but overall You Can Play in the NHL has been doing a lot for the community. They were the first hockey league or the first sports league to join an LGBT advocacy group, and I think that Hockey is for Everyone month is a big step in the right direction, and that in the next few years there will be a lot of good changes within the sports world with this project.